misconceptions about who is the Lord, who are the different demigods, what is the relationship between Lord Krishna and the other avatars, what is the relationship with Lord Krishna and his various agents, the demigods. And it is very important for us to clarify this, and it is very important for us to understand the Shastric references so that whenever there is such a discussion, first of all, we should be armed with this knowledge so that we are able to protect our own faith. That is very, very important. See, because there will be so many popular views, people will be saying so many different things. If we don't know what the correct position actually is, how will we protect our faith? We can easily get swayed by popular opinion, right? Now, for example, there are different festivals that we'll be celebrating. Today also is Ganesh Chaturthi, some are celebrating today, some tomorrow. And Navratri comes, Shivratri comes. There are different festivals, different important days that come. And on these days, we'll be hearing so many different things in glorification of these great personalities. We have to understand their position in relation to Lord Krishna. We have to understand what the Shastra is saying about their position and the position of Lord Krishna, so that we are able to understand that who actually should be our object of worship. And also, when we are talking about these great personalities, for example, Lord Shiva, Lord Ganesha, Mother Durga, then what should be our attitude towards them? You know, what should be our mode of respecting them versus our mode of respecting Lord Krishna or worshipping Lord Krishna. So it is not a question of blind faith. If we go and read our scriptures, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy and by the mercy of our great acharyas, these have been made accessible to us. And Srila Prabhupada has given this knowledge to us in very simple and understandable terms. So we have no excuse actually. We should go and read our scriptures, and then we'll be able to understand things in reality. So it is very important for us to have all this knowledge. Now, in this verse, what is Brahmaji saying? He's saying that Lord Govinda appears in this world through one of his expansions as Lord Ram, Lord Narsimha, Lord Vamana, etc. These are the different expansions through whom Lord Krishna comes in this world. Now, in this shloka, two very important words that I want to highlight are Kala Niyamena. Kala Niyamena means by order of plenary portions. And then there is the other word which is Sambhavat. That means he appeared. Okay. Now, Kala Niyamena, by the order of plenary portions. Plenary actually means complete, when the Lord comes as, completely himself, wholesome, we can say. So, same Krishna appears in different forms, right, by the order of plenary portions. And then those are the incarnations of Krishna. But the Lord himself also appears, and that is Sambhavat. That means when he personally also appears apart from his different forms. So yes, he comes in his different incarnations, but he also comes himself. Okay, there are certain frequencies at which he comes. It's not all the time. It's not in all the all the different cycles, but the Lord also comes. So Lord Krishna, when he appears in this world, he either comes as his expansions or he himself also comes. Now, when we are talking about these different incarnations of Lord Krishna, there is one verse that we should always remember. And this verse is talking about what is the position of the different incarnations in relation to Lord Krishna. This verse actually we should always memorize, because sometimes there'll be people who will say that, and this is very, very common, that people say that no, Lord Krishna is not actually supreme, Lord Vishnu is supreme. And this is very, very famous and very popular understanding and misunderstanding actually, because people say that Lord Krishna is the eighth avatar of Lord Vishnu. I'm sure some of you may have heard this earlier also, because it is very popular in our country, people thinking like that. But whenever we are talking about these different incarnations, these different forms, we should refer to this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, third chapter, 28th verse. It's a very famous verse. I'm sure you have heard it before also. This is where it is mentioned that ete chamsha kalapamsha krishnastu bhagwan swayam indrari vyakulam lokam vridayanti yuke yuke. Now, Shukadev Goswami is not an ordinary personality. He's a very, very great personality, right? And he is saying in this shloka that Lord Krishna is the supreme. All the expansions are coming from him. So before this verse, he explains many incarnations of Lord Krishna. And then in this shloka, he says that all of the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect the theists. So this verse very, very clearly tells us that who is actually the supreme. There may be many incarnations that are mentioned. There may be many different forms of the Lord that are mentioned. But Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. So these verses, at least Krishna's to Bhagwan Swayam, we should always remember. And this is Srimad Bhagavatam 1:328. We can remember this reference also. And Prabhupada, in his purport to this verse, explains that Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, is distinguished from other incarnations. He is counted amongst the avatars because out of his causeless mercy, the Lord descends from his transcendental abode. Avatara, this word avatara actually means one who descends. So it is his mercy that he descends. But all the incarnations of the Lord, including the Lord himself, descend to the different planets of the material world, as also in different species of life to fulfill a particular mission. Like he comes as Matsya Avatara, Kurma, Varaha, Narsimhadev. All these different incarnations have a particular purpose. That is why he comes. Sometimes he comes himself, and sometimes his different plenary portions or parts of the plenary portions or his differentiated portions, directly or indirectly empowered by him, descend to this material world to execute certain specific functions. Now, there are specific needs of different yugas, of different times, and to fulfill those, the Lord comes in different incarnations for executing certain specific functions. And then Prabhupada mentions that originally the Lord is full of all opulences, all prowess, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. So these six aspects, we have heard about this earlier also, that Krishna has all of these in full. And then Prabhupada mentions that when they are partly manifested through the plenary portions or parts of plenary portions, those are the different incarnations of Lord Krishna. Prabhupada explains with this example that when in the room there are small electric bulbs, it does not mean that the electric powerhouse is limited by the small bulbs. So if we see some incarnation of Lord Krishna that is fulfilling a particular purpose, we should not limit the Lord's ability just by that. The same powerhouse can supply power to operate large-scale industrial dynamos with greater volts also. So similarly, the incarnations of the Lord display limited powers because so much power is needed at that particular time. So different incarnations come with a different purpose, specific purpose, and at a particular time, they display certain powers. But just by the limited power that they are manifesting, we should not understand, we should not think that Lord Krishna's powers are only limited. Only these many powers he has. No, we should remember this example of the powerhouse. The powerhouse can give light to these small bulbs also, and also to great, large industrial factories also. can be powered by the powerhouse, because the powerhouse is filled with all the power. So Lord Krishna has all these powers unlimitedly. Wherever, whatever is required at a specific time, he gives that power to that incarnation, and that function is performed. For example, if we see Lord Parshuram, Lord Narsimhadev, they displayed unusual opulence, right? They're very, very strong because they were killing. Now, Lord Narsimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu, and we see, right, how he changed and adjusted his form to completely match with what Brahmaji had given the boons to Hiranyakashipu. Keeping everything in mind, Lord is able to adjust the form. And then Parshuram also very, very strong because he was killing the disobedient Kshatriyas 21 times. So that is the power that they are representing. Similarly, the power that Dhanvantri ji had, he displayed his fame. Balram ji, Mohini, Vaman Dev, Dattatreya, Matsya Kurma, all of these and the four Kumaras, they are representing different aspects of the powers of Lord Krishna. And then Naranarayan rishis were depicting Krishna's renunciation. So in this way we see that different incarnations are depicting different opulences of Krishna. So all the different indirectly or directly empowered incarnations of the Lord manifested different features, right? They are manifesting different features. But Lord Krishna, the primeval Lord, he exhibited the complete features of Godhead. In Lord Krishna, everything is complete. And thus it is confirmed that he is the source of all other incarnations. And, with all this greatness, the most extraordinary feature exhibited by Lord Krishna was his internal energetic manifestation of his pastimes with the cowherd girls. So that is the most highest level of Leela that the Lord was having with his devotees. So all these incarnations, the essence that we should carry from this discussion is that different incarnations have different aspects of Lord Krishna's opulence. They come at different times to uh, serve a particular purpose, to solve a particular problem. But all the opulences rest in complete in Lord Sri Krishna. And Prabhupada in this purport also quotes Srila Jiva Goswami's statement, where he says that Lord Krishna is the source of all other incarnations. And it is not that Lord Krishna has any source of incarnation. He is the source. It's not that Lord Krishna is coming from someone. No, he is the source. All the symptoms of the supreme truth in full are present in the person of Lord Shri Krishna. And in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord emphatically declares that there is no truth greater than or equal to himself. And here, this Swayam, the Swayam word, Krishna's to Bhagwan Swayam, Swayam is particularly mentioned to confirm that Lord Krishna has no other source than himself. He is Swayam Bhagwan. Okay, so he doesn't have a source. He is the source of everyone. Although in other places the incarnations are described as Bhagwan because of their specific functions, nowhere are they declared to be the Supreme Personality. So this declaration that about the Supreme is only done for Lord Krishna. So in this stanza, the word Swayam signifies the supremacy as the Samam Om. Okay, so Lord Krishna is actually the Supreme, and every other incarnation comes from the Lord. This is something that we should remember very clearly. Now, there is another reference from Srimad Bhagavatam which comes in the 10th canto. This is also talking about the incarnations of Lord Krishna. And 10 to 40 is the verse where the demigods are praying to Lord Krishna. And what are they praying? They are saying to Lord Krishna that, O Supreme Controller, your Lordship previously accepted incarnations as a fish, a horse, a tortoise, Narsimhadev, a boar, a swan, Lord Ramchandra, Parshuram, and among the demigods Vamanadev, to protect the entire world by your mercy. Now please protect us again by your mercy by diminishing the disturbances in this world. O Krishna, best of the Yadus, we respectfully offer our obeisances unto you. So in this shloka also, what are we seeing? We are seeing that the Devatas are saying to Lord Krishna that you have previously accepted these various incarnations. So again, here it is confirmed that Lord Krishna is actually the source of all incarnations. And Prabhupada explains in the purport that all the demigods offered their prayers to the Lord, bowing down before him and requested the Lord to do the needful. So the Devtas are also confirming this position. Okay. Now, if we go on and see the difference between Lord Krishna and Narayan, there are various differences, and actually, to understand it clearly, we have to understand that not Lord Narayan does not have some qualities that Lord Krishna has. Like the quality of Venu Madhuri, that is the flute of Lord Krishna. Lord Narayan does not play the flute, like right. So the flute, when we think of Lord Krishna, it's inseparable, right? Lord Krishna, we think of the flute, we think of his pastimes, we think of the peacock feather, and all these loving pastimes that he has with his devotees. And so that is the Leela Madhuri. So Lord Vishnu does not have these kind of pastimes. Then Prema Madhuri, the kind of loving interactions the Lord has, and Rupa Madhuri, the form of Lord Krishna is more attractive than the form of Lord Narayan. Now, how do we know this? We know this because at the time of Ras Leela, when Lord Krishna went away for a while, he hid from the view, from the vision of the gopis. At one point, he appears as Lord Narayan, right? But the gopis wanted to see the two-handed form of Krishna. They were not like in awe that, oh, Lord Narayan has come. They were not satisfied with that. They wanted to see the personal form of Krishna. And Arjuna also, right? After seeing the Vishwaroop, then the four-handed form of Krishna, he wants to see the beautiful two-handed form of Krishna. So Rupa Madhuri also, Lord Krishna is very attractive and even most attractive. And even Lakshmi Devi, she wanted to enter the Rasalila pastimes, right? Because she wanted to see this lovely form of the Lord. She wanted to be a part of that pastime. So through this, we understand that Venu Madhuri, Rupa Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, Prema Madhuri, these are not there in Lord Narayan's form. These are there in Lord Krishna's form. And so we understand that he is complete in every aspect and he is the supreme. And in Brahma Samhita also, we have read, right? Lord Brahma, in the beginning, very beginning, what does he say? He says, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karan Karanam. I mean, he just makes it so very clear, right? That Ishvara Parama Krishna, the very first line, he's removing all misconceptions. He's saying that Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all causes. Now, why are we reiterating these things again? You may feel that it is repetitive. Why do we keep saying this again and again? Because it needs to get drilled in our minds that Lord Krishna is not an incarnation of someone. He is actually the source of all incarnations. So that when we hear all these opposing views, first of all, we don't get confused. And secondly, we are able to support our thinking, our faith through Shastra. See, because there are only three ways to gain any knowledge. Either we can go for Pratyaksha Praman. Okay, I will believe only what I can see. But our senses are limited. We have a tendency to cheat. We have a tendency to be illusioned. Our senses are very, very imperfect. We cannot even understand our own body through our senses. So we cannot rely on Pratyaksha Praman. Then do we go for Anuman Praman? That is, do we go and analyze, okay, this may be the case, this may be the case. But that again is limited because we are doing that with imperfect senses. We will make mistakes. So then what is the way to get knowledge? It is Shabda Praman. We listen to authorities who have realized the truth. We go and read our scriptures where we are getting all this information from authorized authorities. So that is why Shabda Praman is what we need to rely on. Now, when you're talking about Shabda Praman, then we go and read our scriptures. And clearly Brahmaji is saying that Lord Krishna is the supreme Godhead. And Prabhupada explains that Krishna is the exalted supreme entity having his eternal name, eternal form, eternal attribution, and eternal pastimes. And later in the purport, it is mentioned that Krishna has truly visioned in his variegated pastimes, such as owner of transcendental cows, chief of cowherds, consort of milkmaids, ruler of the terrestrial abode Gokul, and object of worship by transcendental residents of Goloka beauties is Govinda. He is a root cause of all causes, who are the predominating and predominated agents of the universe. So everywhere we see, we have to understand that Lord Krishna is the supreme of all. And if we go to other references, in Padma Puran, it is explained that Avatara means one who descends. This is what we understood earlier also. And all these forms eternally reside in the spiritual world. These various forms of Lord Krishna, they are eternally residing in the spiritual world. And when there is a need, they descend to this material world and they perform that particular pastime and they help all the wise people. So this Padma Puran shloka actually says that all the splendid avatars, beginning with Matsya and Kurma, eternally reside in the eternal realm of Vaikuntha. So that is the concept of avatars. The Lord descends from the spiritual world to the material world and he protects his devotees. He comes to help the devotees, help the whole world. Now, continuing our discussion about incarnations of Lord Krishna, there is a very beautiful verse that comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. This comes in the 10th canto, 8th chapter. This is verse number 13. This is the verse where the beautiful Leela of name giving of Lord Krishna and Balramji is taking place, and Garga Muni is explaining to Nanda Baba. He's saying that your son Krishna appears as an incarnation in every millennium. In the past, he assumed three different colors: white, red, and yellow. So those were the colors of Lord Krishna's incarnations in the previous yugas, and now he has appeared in a blackish color. Okay, so uh, these are the different aspects of Lord Krishna's personality that Garga Muni mentions. He is also telling Nanda Baba that your son is the source of all incarnations, because in previous yugas he has come in these different forms and now he has come in this blackish form. So again, Garga Muni is a great authority, right? He's also confirming that, and this is coming in Srimad Bhagavatam. And Lord Krishna, when he exhibits all the qualities fully, that form of the Lord is called as Swayam Rupa of Lord Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada is explaining us time and again that Lord Krishna is the source of all avatars, and therefore the different features that each avatara will have, all those are present in the form of Lord Krishna. So if we are seeing some incarnation of Lord Krishna to be very powerful, some incarnation of Lord Krishna to be very knowledgeable, brave, very opulent, very beautiful, we have to understand that all these different aspects are already there in Lord Krishna. Everything is in the Lord in its completeness. And he is the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. These terms that Srila Prabhupada has given us, it is very strong. Because we say it so many times, we get very used to it. Supreme Personality of Godhead. Supreme means Lord Krishna is the topmost. Personality means he's a person. So we have to take this very, very seriously when we are saying that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Lord Krishna is absolute. What does this mean? This also we hear many times. He's the absolute truth, absolute. That means there is no difference between Lord Krishna and Krishna's. That means no difference between Lord Krishna's form and his name, his pastimes, his leelas. So when we are taking Lord Krishna's name, you have to understand that because he is absolute, that means there is no difference between him and his name. So while chanting Krishna's name, we have to have total confidence that Lord Krishna is present right here. And the same confidence we should have in the deity of the Lord also, because the Lord has authorized that. So in the deity also, It is the Supreme Lord. So we started our discussion with the mention of the different avatars of Lord Krishna and understanding that Lord Krishna is the source of all. And then we are understanding that he is the supreme person. He is he is the absolute truth. So this is where we should be very, very clear about these aspects. And we have given Shastric references also. Another reference comes in chapter 5 of Laghu Bhagavatamrita, where it is mentioned that in Lord Narsimha, Ramachandra, and Krishna, the six transcendental opulences are perfect and complete. They are the Paravasthas, most important forms of the Lord. And from him, that is from Krishna, they are manifested as lamps are lighted from an original lamp. So this example is also given by Prabhupada, where he says that if we take a lamp and from that lamp we light many other lamps. Now when we see, all these lamps will be equally potent, right? They will be given the same amount of brightness, they will be equally potent, but still there is one first lamp and there are the subsequent lamps. So although the subsequent lamps may have the same power, but still Krishna is the Param, he is the first one. From him everything else is coming. And Lord Narasimha Dev, Lord Ramachandra, they are very, very powerful forms of the Lord. And that is why you see that in our temples, these are the forms, Lord Krishna's form, Lord Ram's form, Lord Narasimha Dev's form. These are the deities we have in our temples. They are very, very strong forms of the Lord and very merciful forms of the Lord. So by Prabhupada's causeless mercy, we get a chance to see these beautiful deities and we get a chance to serve these beautiful deities. So we should take great advantage of this this opportunity that we have been given by Srila Prabhupada. And again, we have to understand this concept that everything is in its completeness in Lord Krishna. But when he comes in some expansions, then those expansions will have some potencies, not all the potencies. So when a small measure of his potencies is manifested in a particular form of the Lord, those forms are called Amsha avatars. Okay, so Lord Krishna has unlimited forms, unlimited incarnations. When a small measure of his potencies is manifest, those forms are called as Amsha avatars. And when by his wish, many different potencies are manifest, then that form is called as Purna avatara. So that is the difference. Now this difference is not in Tattva because they are all Supreme Lord. Like Lord Vishnu is also Supreme Lord, but the difference is only in the rasa point of view. There is a particular rasa that Lord Krishna will have, which Lord Vishnu will not have. But Lord Vishnu is also God, right? We are not saying that his position is not that of the Supreme. He's God, but the rasa is different. Lord Krishna has a different rasa. Lord Vishnu has a different rasa. So the different forms of the Lord are considered more or less complete according to the extent to which he manifests his various potencies. So that is up to the Lord. For example, if we take this analogy of a small lamp and a great fire. Now, the small lamp also is fire, okay? And great fire is also fire. So they are equally effective in burning down a house. Even a small spark can burn down an entire house. But only a great fire can bring relief from the suffering in cold weather. So in the same way, the more the Supreme Lord manifests his transcendental qualities, the more the devotees and the living entities in general will find relief from the cycle of birth and death. So Lord, all of his forms are very beautiful, all of his forms are very powerful, and they are very joy-giving for everyone. But when he comes as himself, when he is complete in all his potencies, then that is most attractive because that really, gives so much solace to the living entities who are burning in this fire of material existence. So that is the greatness of Lord Krishna's form. So all are beautiful, all are wonderful, all are worshipable. But when the Lord manifests his potencies fully, that's when it becomes so much more sweeter, so much more lovable, and it really gives a relief from the burning fire of material existence. That is what is mentioned by the great acharyas. And if we think that, okay, these are some references that we have from the scriptures, we quoted from here and there, but some people are still not convinced, right? Because especially as I mentioned earlier, also in India, because the faith is so variegated, people will often question us, that why in ISKCON you are always talking about Lord Krishna? Why not Lord Ganesha? Why not Lord Shiva? Why not Mother Durga? Why don't you worship them? So first of all, we don't disrespect any of these great personalities. They are very, very great personalities. They are great devotees of Lord Krishna. So we respect them immensely. But we also understand what is the difference between Lord Krishna and these great personalities. Understanding this is also very, very crucial, very important. See, because some people, they will have different conceptions of God. There will be some people who totally don't believe in the existence of God. They will just say there is no God. Some will say that all the Devi Devtas are same. Everyone is same. You will get the same result whether you worship Lord Krishna or Mother Durga or Lord Shiva. You will get same result. All are same. And there'll be some people who will say, no, no, I am God. Some who will say that I am God, you are God, everything is God. So there are different philosophies that people have, and many of them are baseless because they don't go and read the scriptures. They just say what they think is the right thing. And sadly, many people, even though they may be educated from the material viewpoint, they follow such personalities because we don't go and question what they are saying. We just listen to what they are saying, and because it sounds good, because of the language they use, many people start believing them. But there is something very basic that we should question anyone who is saying anything about spirituality, and that question should be on the basis of which shastra are you saying this? Where is it written? Because we cannot trust our senses. Our senses are imperfect. They will lead us in the wrong direction for sure. So we have to trust the scriptures. So if anybody is saying anything to us, we should go and ask them, where is this mentioned? Who has said this? What is the Shastric references? And I think half the arguments will just end there because people don't have Shastric references. Sometimes they distort Shastras, but many times they have not even read the Shastras and they quote about God. So that is very, very wrong. Now, we have to know what is the position that the great personalities take so that we understand what is their relation to Lord Krishna. Why are we not worshipping them as supreme, and why are we worshipping Lord Krishna as the supreme? So there is so much confusion, but Srila Prabhupada has given us the essence of the knowledge in very simple terms, without diluting the knowledge. We read Prabhupada's books. He has taken so much pain to give us these synonyms, right? Otherwise, he could have just given the shloka translation, purport finished. Why is he giving us these word by word synonyms? So that whenever people are doubting, whenever people have a confusion, they can go and read that no, there is a break of, there is a, if we break the verse into these small, small fragments, the same essence is coming. So Prabhupada explains everything without diluting any knowledge. He was actually told that, Swamiji, why are you calling your society as the International Society for Krishna Consciousness? It doesn't sound very secular. People may not accept it. So why don't you call it the International Society for God Consciousness? That will be more popular. But Prabhupada said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to dilute this knowledge. Krishna is God. So I'm going to call my society as the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So we have to understand that we are following this path not because we are blind followers, not because we have blind faith, but because of authenticated faith. We have the authority of the scriptures on the basis of which we are saying this. So by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, by the mercy of great acharyas, we are able to understand this knowledge. Now let's spend a few minutes and hearing that what these great personalities themselves are saying about Lord Krishna. Rohini Mataji, you have raised your hand. Do you have a question?
Yes, Mataji. Pranam Mataji. Mataji, Vaman Dev is also Lord Krishna's incarnation, right?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Ma'am, then Mataji, you quoted one verse. I think it was text. It was 40 from Srimad Bhagavatam 10. In that, why is it saying that among the demigods, Vamana Dev?
Aha. He appeared like a demigod because there was a specific purpose to save the demigods, right, from Bali Maharaj's, because Bali Maharaj had taken over all the demigods, he had taken over their kingdom, right? So that is why he appears like that. But it is an incarnation of Lord Krishna. He appears among the demigods, but he is Krishna's incarnation. Okay.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Now, this theme that we'll talk about now is very relevant now, because as I mentioned, we'll be having a lot of festivals now, and we'll be hearing a lot of different things. So let us spend a few minutes clarifying this position. Many of you would have heard these references earlier also, but everything about Lord Krishna is so sweet that the more we hear, the more sweeter it gets. So let's spend some time doing that. First of all, let's talk about Lord Ganesha, because it's Ganesh Chaturthi. Everyone is celebrating. It's a big festival. And if we see what is the position of Lord Ganesha, then actually this shloka will come in Brahma Samhita only. In another 11 verses, you will be reading this verse. So that is why I'm not displaying it up on the screen. Let's save it for that wonderful day when we'll read this shloka. This is 550 of Brahma Samhita. And in this shloka, Lord Brahma is linking Lord Krishna with Lord Ganesha. And he says that the lotus feet of Lord Krishna are kept on the head of Lord Ganesha, and he gets the power to destroy the obstacles of all the personalities in all the three worlds from Lord Krishna by clasping his lotus feet. So we know Lord Ganesha is called as Vignaharta, right? He takes away the obstacles. Very popular. But we have to understand that he is acting as a perfect instrument of the Lord. He is getting that power, he's taking that power by clasping the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and putting them on his head. That is what Lord Ganesha is doing. And we should really glorify him by saying how wonderfully he depends on the mercy of Lord Krishna. He is showing us by his own example that what should we do? Because there are so many problems in our life, so many obstacles that come in our life. And at that time, what should we do? We should take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. He is very intelligent, right? I mean, he has written with his, broken tooth. He broke his tooth and he's writing all these scriptures. He's given them to us. We are so grateful to Lord Ganesha. And someone who is so great and so intelligent as Lord Ganesha, he is teaching us by his example that we can overcome all the obstacles in our life by holding the lotus feet of Lord Krishna on our head. And our scriptures also explain that someone who has taken shelter of Lord Krishna's lotus feet, for them this ocean of material misery becomes like the water that is contained in the hoof print of a calf. So all these problems can be reduced if we can just take shelter of Lord Krishna's lotus feet. And Lord Ganesha is teaching us that. So we should follow his authority. He is teaching us how to depend on the Lord. So that is Lord Ganesha's position. And now when we are celebrating Ganesh Chaturthi, we should really feel a lot of gratitude towards Lord Ganesha, and we should pray to him to remove the obstacles in our path of bhakti. not asking him for any material benediction, but asking him this, that we have so many problems that are stopping us in our surrender to Lord Krishna. O Lord Ganesha, please help us overcome these obstacles. So that is position of Lord Ganesha. Now Mother Durga, her name itself, Durga. Durga means it's like a prison house, some place from which it is very difficult to get out. And she is the warden of this Durga, so her name is Durga. That is Mother Durga. And she takes care of this material world. She's the external energy of Lord Krishna. She helps in the creation, maintenance, and destruction of this material world. Now, Brahma Samhita 5.44. This is another verse that we'll be reading. In that it is said that she does all these things, but not independently, but she acts as per the desire of Govinda. So Lord Brahma is saying that, he is saying this. He knows the world completely in and out. His word is authority. So he is saying that Lord Mother Durga, she does all this under the direction. That means as per the desire of Lord Krishna. So that is Durga Ji's position. Now, if we go to Srimad Bhagavatam, then 12, 13, first shloka, this is the Suta Goswami speaking. And what is he saying? He's saying that unto the personality whom Brahma, Varuna, Indra, Rudra, and the Marutas praise by chanting transcendental hymns and reciting the Vedas with all their corollaries, Padakramas and Upanishads, to whom the chanters of the Samaveda always sing, whom the perfected yogis see within their minds after fixing themselves in trance and absorbing themselves within him, and whose limit can never be found by any demigod or demon, unto that supreme personality of Godhead, I offer my humble obeisances. So Sutta Goswami is saying that all these great personalities, they are glorifying Lord Krishna with choicest of poetries. They are using Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, everything, and they keep singing the glories of Lord Krishna. And great yogis of the universe, in their heart they get darshan of Lord Krishna, and they say that no one knows the limit. His limit can never be found. No one knows the beginning, middle, and end of this personality. He is the greatest, and to that personality they are bowing down. And if we see Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, then what does in the 25th chapter of 10th canto, the pastime of Govardhan Leela. We all know this pastime, right? Where Indra gets proud and he tries to create a big problem in Braj, but his pride is vanquished by the Lord. Now, Indra is the chief of the demigods. He comes and bows down to Lord Krishna. He does Abhishek of Lord Krishna and he begs for forgiveness from Lord Krishna. So that also proves the position of Lord Krishna, the superiority of Lord Krishna. If we go to Bhagavad Gita, then what is Arjuna saying? Arjuna is a great personality, right? And in 10th chapter, verses 12 to 13, what does he say? He say that you are the topmost personality, you are the ultimate abode, you are the purest, topmost personality. You are eternal, you are divyam. That means you are transcendental, your body is transcendental. You are the original person. You are the unborn. You are the greatest. You are all the sages. And he's saying that not just me, he's giving authority of other sages also. He's saying that all the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa, they confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. Now, Arjuna is a very intelligent person. As Lord Krishna was reciting the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was able to understand and imbibe it immediately. And he is saying this, about the supreme position of Lord Krishna. And as we had discussed earlier, if we go by the authority of Shukadev Goswami, then first canto, third chapter, 28th verse, where Shukadev Goswami is saying that Ete Cham Shakala Puksham, Krishna is the root of all, he is the source of all, he is Krishna's tu Bhagwan Swayam, he is the greatest of all, he is the supreme Lord. And Shukadev Goswami is a great personality himself because he recited the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, and he is saying Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. Another great personality is Narad Muni in the fourth canto, 31st chapter, 14th shloka, Narad Muni is speaking to the Prachetas, and he's saying that all this different structure of controllers, these different great personalities, they are like the twigs, branches, etc. But in any tree, the root is most important, and that root is Krishna. And he says that everybody is satisfied by satisfying Krishna. So Narad Muni is also confirming this position. So we saw the position of Lord Ganesha, Mother Durga, then what did Suta Goswami say, what did Shukadev Goswami say, what was Indra's position, what did Arjuna say, and then in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Uddhav ji also. Uddhav ji is a great personality. He says that Krishna is so great that all the demigods are waiting in a line to get his darshan, and they all bow down and offer respects to Lord Krishna, and their helmets make this clinging sound when they all are bowing down to Lord Krishna. So there is nobody equal or greater than Lord Krishna. And actually this portion, this part about the demigods coming, taking darshan of Lord Krishna, this is also quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Nectar of Devotion by Srila Rupa Goswami, another great authority. And now finally, we are in Brahma Samhita, so many shlokas you have all read, and in every shloka, what are we reading? What is Brahmaji saying all the time? Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Again and again, he is saying that Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Now, these words, we should take them very, very seriously, because he is saying that Adi Purusham, Krishna, you are Adi Purusha, you are the source of all. I worship and bow down to such a person, to the supreme primeval Lord. And he starts his Brahma Samhita with Ishvara Parama Krishna, which we discussed already. That you are the topmost of all controllers, you are eternal, full of knowledge, you are the reservoir of all happiness, Satchidanand, right? And Lord Brahma is confirming this time and again. And it is Prabhupada's mercy that he made this a practice of chanting these two shlokas every morning, these Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami, where we are glorifying the form of the Lord, and we are also saying that you are Adi Purusha and I offer my respects unto you. So Brahmaji also, through various shlokas of Brahma Samhita, he is saying that. And lastly, we'll see what Lord Shiva says. Lord Shiva in the Padma Purana, he is telling Mother Parvati that, O Goddess Parvati, out of all the types of worship, the worship of Krishna or Vishnu is the topmost. Lord Shiva says this, confirmed. He is saying that out of all the different forms of worships, pujas that anyone can do, it is the worship of Lord Krishna that is the topmost. So if we see what Lord Brahma says, what Lord Shiva says, what Lord Ganesha is saying, Mother Durga's position, great sages like Shukadev Goswami, Suta Goswami, Rupa Goswami, we see what Narad Muni says, what Arjunji says, what is Indra's position. There are so many other references which we were just able to cover a few, but through all these we understand that Lord Krishna is the supreme. All the various incarnations that come from the Lord are for a particular purpose. There are different avatars, and that is actually the mercy of Lord Krishna, that he comes time and again, he comes and he performs these various leelas. For the Lord, it is not difficult to kill the demons, right? He is situated as Paramatma in everyone's heart. He can just, by his click, he can kill anyone. Anyone can die if Lord Krishna wants that. So that is something that can be done by the Lord very easily. But then why does he come? Why does he perform these beautiful pastimes? So that we get this chance to read about these pastimes and purify ourselves. Right? All these beautiful pastimes, whether he comes as Lord Ram, whether he comes as Lord Narsimhadev, whether he is doing all these baby pastimes in Braj. Now in some time, Damodar month will start and we'll be hearing about Lord Krishna's stealing butter pastime, him getting caught. Every year we do that, but every year we look forward to it, isn't it? It is so, so beautiful. Everything about Lord Krishna is ever fresh. So even though we've heard these pastimes again and again, still it is so beautiful to hear them again. That proves that Lord Krishna is ever fresh. That proves that these are not mundane discussion matters. These are all transcendental. By his mercy, he comes and he takes these different forms so that we get a chance to hear about these beautiful pastimes. So just to summarize what Brahmaji is saying here, he's saying that it is Lord Krishna who manifests these different pastimes. He comes in these different avatars as Lord Ram, Nrsimhadev, Vaman, etc. These are his portions. And as mentioned in the purport, they appear from Vaikuntha, and his own Krishna form also manifests himself. So sometimes the Lord comes as incarnation, sometimes he himself comes. And again, it is clarified here that Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna, they are the supreme. They are the supreme Godhead themselves. And that is something we should understand and remember always through various references which we read today and the various opinions of the different personalities. We try to understand this. Okay, so we'll end here. If anyone has a question, we can spend a few minutes on that.
Krishna Mataji. In his own form, Krishna manifests himself with Vraja. Vraja means?
Vraja, Mataji, his dham. So when Krishna comes, the dham also comes with
Vrindavan dham, like that.
Vrindavan, yes. Vraj dham.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. And it's praying to Devi, demigod, like now Navratri season is coming, we'll only pray to Devi, Parvati, chant the Aigiri and Nandini and all. So is it praying only to demigod? Parvati is a half of Krishna, no?
Parvati ji is actually Krishna's external energy, no? She is the.
So it's not like demigod.
She is a Devi Mataji, but we have to, like I said, that we give her respect because she's Krishna's sister, she's Krishna's external energy, but she is Vaishnavi. She is a Vaishnavi herself. So if we give respects to Mother Durga, then that is how she will also be happy. But we should not worship her as the supreme.
Okay.
That's the thing.
9 days praying only to her, so it is okay. Like we are not.
But Mataji, we should pray to her for what? What are we praying to her for? If we are praying and asking for bhakti, then that is a devotional thing to do.
Okay.
See, some things we do in our families because we have been doing for a long time, right? Yes. It may not be possible to just stop that, but our focus should be that who is she? She is Krishna's great devotee, and we ask her for devotion. Like, Mother, you have so much devotion. Please give me devotion. Please remove obstacles from my path of bhakti. But our worship as Supreme Lord should be only for Lord Krishna.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Very clear.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat pranams. Thanks for the excellent class, Mataji. Mataji, you said white and red incarnation. Mataji, that what are they, Mataji?
Mataji, in different kalpas, the Lord comes in different colors. Like sometimes Lord Ram comes in a greenish hue. In other kalpas, he comes in a different color. So those are the different colors of his incarnations, Mataji. And that keeps changing in different kalpas.
Is there any name for them, Mataji?
I'll find out, Mataji. I'll find out and we'll post it.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Very nice, Mataji. So much knowledge you have, Mataji, at such young age.
Really. No, Mataji, I'm just repeating what devotees have said. I'm just copy pasting, nothing else.
But still, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mataji. So thank you all. Thank you so much. And let us all pray to Lord Ganesha to remove obstacles in our path of bhakti, whatever problems we may be having. He is very merciful. So we'll pray to him so that he helps us get closer to Krishna. He helps us, he gives us the intelligence through which we are able to understand these scriptures which he wrote and gave us. So that is what we should worship him and thank him for writing these scriptures for us. So thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Very nice class.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Very informative class. Very nice. Dandit pranam.
कृपा सिंधु वनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। ओम कोटि वैष्णव जय। शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। शिला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर की जय। श्री ब्रह्म संहिता की जय। Hare Krishna. Thank you all for
Hare
joining.
Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Krishna.